Hello, 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 and welcome back to the 12. This is a show about the Women's Super League, aka the highest division of women's football in England. We're here to discuss all things WSL both on and off the field. Each week, we'll be breaking down games, showcasing stars, and highlighting important stories surrounding the game. And that includes in the off season. And I think this is kind of our first episode of season 2, I'd say. We had like an off season transfer recap, but I'm going to say welcome to season 2 of the 12. We're so excited. My name is Deepti, and I'm here with my co hosts, Mark, Thom Bomb, and Treb. And this week, it's about anticipation. The season starts very soon. Champions League first round starts like next week as of when we're recording this. So we have a lot to talk about. And we're going to start with some more transfers that have happened since the last episode that we recorded. And there's quite a few, and there's quite a few big ones too. Um, I'll just go with the first couple and we can each take like a team that's happening. But Brighton is making moves. They're doing good business. They've been doing good business since like last season, honestly. But Michelle Adjemang, the women's Euros hero, is going back to Brighton on loan. I think she's going to spend basically Arsenal wants her to spend one more year to develop a little bit more until she can become a full-time starter for us. And then with that, Rosa Kafaji is also going on loan to Brighton. Not necessarily a surprising move, but I think what more surprising that it was just a loan and that it wasn't a full transfer. Because at least for me, she even with Jonas and now with Renee, it never looked like she fit in with the system. And didn't get as much playing time as she'd hoped and I'd hoped. So hopefully this is a good move, and we'll see where it goes after that. Brighton also got a couple players from other teams. They have Melis and Pame from Chelsea and
Mark,
Carla
why did you let
Camacho.
that happen?
It's just one of those things where it was so funny too because it just kind of came out of nowhere. Like it was just like very little fanfare. Just Melis and Palme has left the club for Brighton, and that's that. I think because Chelsea also let go another center back, Aniek Nilwan, who like never really had a future at the club. But what I find interesting is like there's very little center back depth left, at least beyond Bright, Gurma, Buchanan, and Bjorn, which leads me to believe that Buchanan might be close to coming back. I'll have to double check, but I think she did travel with the team for their preseason match. And so, that's encouraging. But yeah, I mean, sometimes early it's just not going to work out with a certain player. And it looks like Chelsea made that call with Mpame.
Fair.
She's so young, though. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I don't know about giving up on a player like that. And like maybe she just needs to go to a different team to find her form.
I think so. And I think it's a good move for everybody involved.
It seems like Brighton's one of those teams now where it's like, okay, send your players here, let them find their form, and then either bring them back or like sell them somewhere else. It's almost like I feel like a Dortmund on the men's side where they kind of bring up the young players and then sell them off for big amounts once they've like reached the peak.
I mean, Brighton are super smart, right? Like a lot of their moves have been either loans in or free agents. So like they've gotten a lot better than they were last season while not spending hardly any money. Like I think the only players that they technically bought are Mpame and I think Camacho from Real Madrid, right? If I'm not mistaken. And so and those are undisclosed fees, so we don't know how much they paid for them, but like those are the only players that they've truly spent money on. Whereas they still bolstered their roster by 4 or 5 players, so they are definitely at the top of the list of exciting teams to watch in terms of that mid-table spot. Because I don't think that they've done enough to put themselves in competition for the top 3, but I definitely think they've done enough to keep themselves where they're at, which is like that 4 to 7 range. So
Dario is my manager to keep an eye on this season.
Oh, here we go.
I'm not saying he's the best.
Tom's curse has started already.
Brighton fans, you know who to blame when your coach loses the first 5 matches.
But they have 5 points from 5. You gotta find out.
You know who to blame.
I mean, I
This
think it's
happened
smart business
starting
though,
early.
right? Like if you're a team like Brighton, they don't have an ownership that I know of that like has a lot of money or has a lot of spending power. And so if you can position yourself as a team that's like, hey, send all of your youngsters here, we will develop them, we will grow them, we will help, we will help them while they help us achieve what we want to achieve. Like that's really smart. Like again, like you mentioned, Michelle Adjemaine going back there for her second season, Rose Kafaji going there with her from Arsenal. Like those are two players that I think, like Deepti mentioned, like I'm a little bit surprised that the Rosa move wasn't a permanent, but it's also kind of good from an Arsenal perspective because it's like we get to see what she has. We get to see if maybe she can fit in the future. But like with Michelle, like it's really an important year for her because she had an outstanding summer, outstanding Euros with England, and I think she didn't quite do enough to really surpass Russo right now. But I think that if she has another great year with Brighton and then just kind of takes that momentum into next season, I think we could really be talking about maybe Russo either leaving Arsenal or taking on a different role and Michelle kind of coming into place, especially when you consider that we just spent $1 million on Olivia Smith, who's only 20 years old, and we have Taylor Hines, who's like young. And so like you can tell that Arsenal are trying to get younger. But again, like I think in terms of Michelle's case, like I don't think she's ready yet to take over that starting role, but she's also a player that's too good to keep on the bench as a sub, right? Like she needs minutes. She's 19 years old. She needs minutes. And this is like the classic Arsenal loan move where we see it on the men's side where it took Saka a while, probably longer than fans would have liked, for him to really get into that senior team and take over. Like this is just how Arsenal operate. Like unless you are absolutely positively outstanding from day one, like they're going to be safe, they're going to be cautious, they're going to put you out on loan, they're going to ease you into that transition into like that responsibility of being a starter. And so like I think it's going to be a really exciting season to see what Michelle can do at Brighton, and she's going to help them. Like she did really well last season. Brighton finished top 5, I think. And so like I think they're in for another. I'll be honest, I think Brighton are going to be in for a top 4 finish, and I wouldn't be surprised if they near the end of the season are fighting for that top 3. Like I'll say that right now. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. So
yeah, I mean the way they started last season, we know they were on track for that as well, and they just kind of dipped. So hopefully they can start strong again, but maintain that. But I wanted to ask you guys, just on the news of young players who we know are good, who have so much potential, getting loaned out. Do you ever fear that they would then like the team that they were loaned to better and try to stay there?
Yeah, I mean, sorry, go ahead.
I think to me, it's more of a like, are you loaning this player to a London club, like from a non-London club? So like, say for example, if I'm City and I have a young player in my academy, but I'm like, I don't think like you're quite ready. Why don't you go to West Ham on loan and you can get like, and then like they fall in love with London and like, oh no, I'm not coming back to Manchester. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be over here. Like I think to me that would be like the larger like fear of that happening.
The one example that I can remember this happening like very clearly was with Thibaut Courtois, who Chelsea signed him, and for his first 3 years under Chelsea ownership, he spent on loan at Atletico Madrid, and like he became a starter there. He established himself there. Like Atletico Madrid in his final season won the league, made it to the final of the Champions League, and so like he grew with the team, and there was all that. And I think he also started a family in Madrid, and so like it was kind of a pain to get him to come back to London when he was clearly ready to be. So he was like, I have to be like guaranteed number one. And there was all that, and then he eventually left for Real Madrid, and part of the reason was because of his family. And so but like I think that's a very like specific and extreme example. But like in the case of Michelle Ajiman, I would imagine that Arsenal is doing enough work like behind the scenes, having those conversations with her, letting her know what they think of her in terms of the long term, and her future with the club. So I think it's just like case by case basis.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of Arsenal, like I look at a player like Freya Godfrey, right? Like she went on loan last season to London City Lionesses, and I think Arsenal realized like, okay, we are kind of stacked at the attack right now, especially with Michelle kind of coming in and taking over. So it's like we need one of these young players to leave, and I think in her case, that permanent move to London City was smart because it's like she knows her future with Arsenal is a little bit up in the air. You know, it would be a longer road for her to supplant one of the starters. I think she saw like I can get game time now. I can develop as a player. Let me make that permanent move. I still stay in London. It's good. But I think if you're a top team, you don't really have that worry unless, like Mark mentioned, where unless you really are for sure that this player won't be part of the future, right? Like I think with Michelle, I'm not as afraid that at the end of the season she'll be like, I want to stay at Brighton. Like I don't. All due respect to Brighton, like I don't see that happening. I think if Arsenal said, "Look, you're going to be playing a lot more next season," she jumps on that chance, right? Because Arsenal's a big club. They've been fighting for Champions League. They just won it last season. They will most likely be fighting for that WSL title, so on and so forth. And so, like for every player, for a lot of players, I think you want to play for the big club, whether it be in England, in Spain, wherever. Like you want to play for a top club. But I do think it really does depend on the player and the situation. Because like I said, for Freya herself, like it was a good move because I don't think a lot of people saw her as the future for Arsenal just yet, right? Like I think she needs 2, 3, 4, 5 years to develop before it's like, okay, maybe let's try to buy her back. So like her moving to London City Lionesses was a great move. Whereas like with Michelle, I think if she has another great season, I really think Arsenal might be in a position where it's like, okay, let's figure out what we're going to do with Russo, especially if Russo doesn't really have the year we expect her to have, right? Like she had a pretty down Euros in terms of what people expected to see from her. And I think even going back to last season, like she did great in a lot of matches, but just in terms of being that clinical, prolific striker, she wasn't that. And if, 20-year-old Michelle Adjumane is going to come in and start scoring goals in bunches, that's going to be a hard thing to pass on. Again, especially if you consider the rest of the roster in terms of like Olivia Smith, Taylor Hines, whoever else they might bring in. Like it looks like an Arsenal team that is getting younger. So I don't think we have, personally from an Arsenal perspective, I don't think we have to worry about Michelle wanting to leave Arsenal until it's clear that she has no future there.
Yeah, fair. No, go ahead, Mark.
Oh no, I was gonna say like on the flip side, you look at a player like Rosa Kafaji. Like if she has a good season at Brighton, I could see her
might
staying.
stay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, can we actually make this a permanent thing? Like, and I think Arsenal would be happy to do that.
Yeah, because I don't see.
Yeah, I agree.
Like Rosa, like I don't see her having a few. Like you said, she just didn't fit what Jonas wanted to do, which is weird because Jonas brought her in. So like the fact that he didn't know what to do with her was insane to me. And then it's hard to ask a new manager like Renee to come in and be like, figure out what to do with this player. Like I think Rosa has really good talent. I think she can help a team, but I don't think she quite fits what Arsenal want to do. So I could see her making that move permanent, kind of like I said, like with Freya. So I hope she has a good season. That'd be fun.
Cool. Let's stick with London City because Kang has been making even more moves and she won't stop. And they have a handful more from the last time we were on. Do one of you want to go through the list?
Sure, I'll go ahead and run through it. So they got Eleni Leta from Real Sociedad, got Sophia Port from Villa, but they loaned her out to Forest. Freya Godfrey, as we mentioned. They got Nikita Paris on a free, and then Elena Lenari from Roma. They got Paula Partito's rights, but then loaned them to Dukes Logroño. And then the coup, they got Yana Fernandez from Barcelona, who if we were doing a different show, we might talk about the fire sale that is going on at Barcelona, but we'll leave that alone.
Well, I mean, listen, I'll be the first to say it like publicly. Like there are tiny, tiny ember whispers that, Arsenal are interested in trying to sneak Selma. So this might be the show to talk about it in the future. I'm just saying, Arsenal still need a winger. I'm just saying, I can't. You're on mute, Thom.
Selma is to Barca women as Yamin Lamal is to Barca men.
Are we sure about that?
And they don't know it yet.
Well, okay, maybe it's the fact that they don't know, because I
That's
feel
the
like
key.
anyway, you're right. If this was a show, we'd go into depth in that, but I feel like she's the next lever that they're going to pull in terms of getting that contract out of there. So,
or getting something for her.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The London City, like, yeah, I know we, like, last season, I made no secret, I was a big Crystal Palace fan, and I wanted them to stay up. I don't know, like, see, this is hard because it's just like last season, I thought Crystal Palace would stay up. They just couldn't find the goals. If London City can find, and I know it sounds obvious for soccer, but if London City can find the goals consistently, they're going to stay up. Like, Kang is trying to do everything in her power to make sure that this team stays up this season. And I think they have a really good chance because they've strengthened that squad in a lot of areas, not just attack, but like defense, midfield. And you look at other teams that were kind of hovering down at the bottom, like you look at Tottenham, they've really been quiet this season or this offseason in terms of bringing players in. West Ham have been pretty quiet. Leicester City have been pretty quiet. So, like, there's a chunk of teams out there that are going to be vulnerable again at the bottom of that table. And so it'll be interesting to see. But I don't know. Like, part of me wants to put my faith in London City, but part of me also is just like, I don't know if they stay up. Like, Nikita Paris is amazing, and I know they got Van de Donk in, but like, I don't know. I don't know. I still think they're missing that like superstar piece to make me feel like, okay, this is a team that's going to stay up this year.
I was going to say, I'll ask you the question that we talked about before we started recording is, do you think they have that one star? Like, who do you think they're kind of building around, or like, who's that star player to you right now?
I think they're building around Van de Donk and like Aslani in the front, right? Like, I think that's their 1-2 punch in terms of like, these are the players we're going to lean heavily on. I think Nikita Paris is going to surprise a lot of people because she does tend to get streaky and she does tend to score goals kind of in chunks, right? Like, if she can get hot early on in the season, I think she has a great chance at getting like 4, 5, 6 goals in the first 10 matches. But I don't know. Like I said, you just look at other teams around, right? Like, you look at City, they have a stacked roster. You look at Chelsea, always a stacked roster, and they've gotten healthier. You look at Arsenal, they've added Olivia Smith. They've added Taylor Hines. Like a lot of these teams at the top have added players, and then you look at, a team like Brighton, they've added players. They have talented youngsters that can really affect matches. Michelle Adjumane and Rosa Kafaji. Like, if she turns on, like, you just never know. And so I look at London City and I don't feel super confident in them. But again, you look at the other teams that they're going to be fighting relegation against with, Tottenham, West Ham, Leicester City. Like, I also look at those teams and they haven't done anything. So it's not like, you know what I mean? It'd be different, I think, if they strengthen, then it'd be like, okay, I really don't believe in London City. But I think right now it's just more like I need to wait for the first 5 matches to really see what London City are about in this league before I feel like, okay, that's a team that's going to stay up.
It's interesting because they have some younger players, and like, coming from, I don't know, at least me, it's the wrong perception, but sometimes like a team in the championship, I almost think have like even younger players and like less of the veteran presence, but they have so many veterans on this team, and it's almost like their core main starting 11 is mostly veteran presence. Like we said, Asani, now they have Van de Donk, Sophia Jakobsen is there, they've got Nikita Paris now, Saki Kumagai, like so many of them who have, they're kind of stalwarts for like the previous teams I've been. So it'll be really interesting to see what they can do. And like, given that there is such a veteran presence, like, I don't doubt that they'll be able to kind of hold their own, but it's a matter of how long they can sustain that, I think. Coming out the gate, maybe they'll be strong. Their first match is against Arsenal, so that'll be really interesting. Like a test for both teams right away, I think. But also just like how long they can sustain through the season, and then if they do manage to stay up, how long can they continue their success in the WSL as like one of these teams that's new but also not new.
I think that we are forgetting very importantly that if their first 5 matches or their first 2 months are terrible, Michelle Kang will just spend money in the winter window and fix that. Like she and we all know whose contract expires.
I was about to say, if they can get a certain DC player, I feel a lot more confident in them.
2025, when the season ends. So, yeah.
Well, you mentioned that, Tom, like just real quick. So as Deepti mentioned, their first match is against Arsenal away. Then they're at home to Man United, away to Everton, away to Man City, and at home to Liverpool. So like that's the start of their season. So like I said, like I think that first 5, oh my God, that's like a tough start to your year. Like that's welcome to the WSL, right? Like you literally have, outside of Chelsea, you have all of the top teams in that first 5 match, and most of those are away. So like I think that first 5 matches are going to be like, okay, what is this London City team legitimately about? But like Tom said, I mean, we all know Michelle Kang has a player in DC right now whose contract is running out, who everyone on the planet is looking at in terms of where is she going to go? Can we get her? I mean, everyone from Arsenal to Chelsea to Lyon to Barcelona, like everyone is going to be looking at Trinity Rodman. But we all know that like if her relationship with Kang is as strong as it appears from the outside, and with Kang having the money that she has, I think the only question is going to be, does she go to France or does she come to London?
Yeah.
Really is the only question when that contract runs out. And if she comes to London, I'm saying it right now, they're staying up. And I think the real question is going to be, will they have the juice to get into that top 3 this year? But I definitely think if Trinity comes, they'll have the juice to get into that top 3 next year.
I don't.
You're hoping not. You're hoping not.
We will talk about it when we preview the season in our next episode. But
yeah,
I don't foresee that happening.
I agree. Okay, next team. Mark, why don't you pick one? What's next? Should we do Liverpool?
Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, Liverpool. Okay, so we have Lily Woodham, who transferred to Liverpool from Seattle Reign. Rafaela Bografi, who transferred to Liverpool from Freiburg. The other Sam Kerr, who I transferred to Liverpool from Bayern. I think she was there on loan.
She was on loan, and they just
made the move permanent. And then you have Christy McLean, who transferred to Liverpool from Rangers.
And don't forget the biggest one. Certain new manager.
Jesus. Oh Jesus, no. No, I refuse.
Oh, how could we forget?
What was their manager's name again? Who did they just hire?
They hired a certain Welshman by the name of Gareth Taylor.
A certain Gareth Taylor, that's the one.
Can we just talk? How do you look at what happened to City, and then you look at the season you had at Liverpool, where you were absolutely worse than everybody had expected you to be, and you think, you know what's a great idea? Let's bring in the guy who chased away half of his roster. Like let's bring in the guy who had Chloe Kelly ready to quit soccer. You know, the same Chloe Kelly who left Man City and won the Champions League, won the Euros, has turned her whole entire soccer life around, complete 180. Like, let's bring in that play. I mean, I guess it's a good thing. There's probably why Olivia Smith and Taylor Hines got the fuck out when they did. Because, like, why? Why would you stay for that?
That man said that Bunny would sit behind Ellen White because there were a lot of things that Ellen White could teach Bunny. That really might be worse than the Thomas Frank quote.
I don't know. Really is it ask Mark? Is it worse than Sonia saying Lily Johannes isn't as good as what's her face?
Oh God.
Fumbling that bag? Is it? I feel like those are like 1A, 1B in terms of like dumbest things a manager could say.
I feel like maybe we need an episode when it's like there's some break and we just take the best quotes from managers. Just read them out. No context, just read them out.
I don't even think I've heard a Renee quote, good or bad. She just goes out there and does her shit. Like, thank God for that.
I want to hear all of the Skitter quotes, like, because you know he has said some very, very dumb things.
Yes.
But anyway, Liverpool. How do we think they do?
None of those moves excited me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couple that with the departure of Olivia Smith, and it's like
Hines.
And
Hines. And Hines, and so I was thinking about like when you were talking about London City and all those teams that need to watch out. I think Liverpool can be included. I mean, my thing is like I don't see them improving or going up, and if they go much further down, then they're part of the relegation race, right? Like, and that's my thing. It's like I think if London City do as well as we think they might be able to, which is, let's say they are a few points ahead of the worst team, right? So like in and about the relegation race, but not necessarily like the worst or second to worst team. Then like it's gonna be a scramble between your Leicester's, Tottenham's, Liverpool's, and these are the clubs who aren't doing much. So it's kind of like, yeah.
Last season, Crystal Palace got relegated with 10 points, and the teams above them were Tottenham with 20, Leicester City with 20, West Ham with 23, and Everton with 24. Liverpool finished 7th, but they had 25 points. So, like, you're not wrong. Like, I definitely feel confident in saying London City are going to have more than 10 points. Like, yeah. I feel very confident in saying they will have more than 10 points. So I think that relegation race this year, and we haven't really talked about it, but like the rules are changing this year, where you have.
Oh yeah.
Is there an automatic? Okay, see, I have to go through the rules.
No, yeah.
Is there an automatic relegation this year? I don't think there is, right? Like
no, they'll play the third place
playoff.
Yeah.
That's right. So yeah. So like again, that'll be safe for the real preseason episode. We'll have to like refresh ourselves on the rules, but like it just hit me that that's the case. And so like if that is the case, if we're talking about London City positioning themselves to be in a playoff or a play-in, I mean, that changes everything actually, because now like I do have faith in them finishing back in the WSL, because if they end up in a playoff, I think they beat whoever they play.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, no matter what, at this point, probably beat the third place.
Now that I think about it, if they're playing the third place championship team, they beat them, or should, right? Like, this is the beauty of soccer; anything can happen. But I think as it stands on paper, they absolutely will be back in the WSL next year.
Yeah.
But still, like that bottom of the relegation race, like I think Liverpool could finish worse than 7th. Because they've lost 2 of their best young stars. They've lost a lot of what their offense does in Olivia Smith. They lost a lot of their defensive ability in Taylor Hines. And I think, like Tom said, none of these transfers really move me and feel like they've done anything special. So, I mean, I think, and then you hire Gareth Taylor. Like, yeah, that's a team fighting for 9th and 10th, to be honest.
Okay, I have another question for you guys, because I was reading they just interviewed Gareth Taylor, they meaning BBC Sport, recently after he was appointed, and there's one quote where I want to ask you your thoughts, and like I kind of get it, but I also am like, where's the ambition? But he just straight up says, he's like, there's always an expectation, but we won't be competing for the title this season. In a few years, we want to be challenging for the Champions League spots. He's being realistic, which is fine. Like, he won't challenge for the title or compete for the title. But do you want your coach to like say that outright before the season has even started, and like 1 week, maybe even like into stepping out to the grounds? Or do you want them to kind of have like a dreamer attitude and be like, no, we want to win every game and we're going to do the best and compete for like amongst the best?
I don't think those are mutually exclusive. I think I think every manager, right, always goes into every game like we want to win this game. So I don't think that that's a problem. But I also think if you're City, Chelsea, Arsenal, maybe United, yeah, you don't want to hear that from your manager. But I think if you're Liverpool, you understand the position you're in. Like we've talked about, like you've just lost two of your best youngsters. You haven't really brought in anyone of so much value that you feel like could carry the team to like 3, 4, 5 wins in the season. So I think it's very much realistic to be like, we're not challenging for the title. Like, I think it's important to have that expectation. Like, listen, we're not a top 3 team, but that's the goal. So like, I'm not too mad at that, but I think it's also the fact that it's Gareth Taylor saying that makes me because again, this is a manager that had
because I think because
did nothing with it.
Yes, that's the thing. Like, because it is Gareth Taylor, and because he was there with a stacked City squad and won one trophy in his entire career at City, like that's the reason why the quote is ridiculous to me. Like
any other manager, I'd be like, okay, that's fine. Let's see what you do. But with Gareth Taylor, I'm like, I don't know, bro. Like, because you're already giving up, bro. That's not good.
Like, you can't advertise your lack of ambition that way when you have the reputation that you do. Like, you can't do that. So I
think that it's so funny. The reputation obviously always precedes everything they do moving forward. So like every single quote, nothing is really standing out as good or bad. It's like everything makes sense. But because it's him, there's that grain of salt that I'm like, I'm like thinking of it in a slightly different tone of like how he's saying it. And it's like, of course he'd say that, or And so that's kind of funny, given just like what we know about him. We are putting a bit more pressure, as we should. Like I think it, given everything that he has been through at City and what he's done, like he deserves to have a bit more of like a scope on him. And I don't know. I still don't understand the move, but like once again, I never understand coaching hires, I'm not gonna lie.
It's not just coaching hires, but like coaching rehires. Like you just saw this man get fired. Like we all saw it like it happened. Like, and not very ceremoniously either. Like, I mean, no, it wasn't Sean Nahas levels of like, but it was not amicable.
I mean, I think that's like the problem in all of sports, right? Like we see it to be an American, like we see it in the NBA, we see it in the NFL, we see it in college football, we see it in every sport where it's just like you see these coaches do absolutely nothing with some teams, get fired, and then a month later they're rehired by someone. It's like, what do you think you have that is going to make this person who is absolutely dog shit be better in your situation? Especially as a Liverpool team, again, you've just lost two of your best youngsters and you haven't really invested in the team. Like, what makes you think that this guy that failed with an absolutely stacked City roster and had players like ready to quit the sport as a whole and players who did not believe in his vision and putting them in a position to not even finish top 3, what makes you think he's going to take your Liverpool team and make them better? Like, I just don't get I just don't get that. Like, I don't understand that thought process. Like, there's so many assistant managers, there's so many like NWSL managers that you can come and try to get. Like, there's just so many options that you can do that I feel like I would feel infinitely more confident in than the guy that literally chased away Chloe Kelly and couldn't do anything with a team that had Bunny Shaw and Viv Miedema and just like the list goes on.
Fowler.
Yeah, Mary Fowler, like all of these, like just the list goes on of players that you had, and you couldn't even come close to finishing top 3. Like if how am I Liverpool being like, yeah, that's the guy that I want? Like, what the fuck? That's so stupid.
Also, can we just talk about quickly how LinkedIn gave me a notification to congratulate him on his new position?
Why are you linked with Gareth? I don't, admittedly, I don't do LinkedIn. I'm apparently that must be a big thing in the WSL community though, because my word, like,
see, I'm trying to get hired by any football club, and they use LinkedIn so much. And so I guess somehow, I don't remember when this was, but I had I guess connected with multiple people on teams, and he's not the only manager. I won't say the other ones I'm connected with. He's not the only one. I figured this out once no. Maybe I should, and then I'll invite him on this podcast.
Oh man. Oh.
Hey, shoot your shot. Shoot your shot. Like, I mean,
yeah.
But I might have to just be producer for that episode.
Oh man. Okay, let's just talk about the two Manchester teams. Treb, if you want, I think they both just have a couple, but they're quite big ones.
Yeah, I can talk about Leicester. They signed
Manchester. Leicester has just a few that we don't.
Yeah, the one
City. And then
I completely forgot about Rolfo United. That was like the big
one. Whoa, spoiler.
Listen, this is still preseason. We're getting in the form, right?
Agreed. You know? I like that. I like that. We got to work the combinations.
Okay.
We're not. So
you handle City. You handle City, and then I'll double back on the. Okay.
Boom. Okay. City also signed another keeper, in Eartha Cummings, from Rosengard. So now we have 4 keepers on our roster. I don't know how that's gonna go, but sure, man, let's do it. Weinrother staying is kind of shocking to me. She didn't really play a whole lot during her loan, and I guess she wanted to get minutes for Austria, but I don't know. It doesn't necessarily move me, especially since I know that Riza Shimizu is practicing, and she's not beating out Riza Shimizu for that right back spot, and I don't think that she can really play left back.
Yeah.
Well, from an Arsenal perspective, she's actually a good player. She was hurt last season, coming off an injury. She didn't play a lot for City. When she is healthy, she's actually really good depth, and she can play both sides. At Arsenal, we've played her right and left back, so she can double both sides. I think she's good depth, a good depth player. You're right. I don't see her beating out anyone for that starting spot, which is a big reason why she moved on from Arsenal, because she's not going to beat out Emily Fox. And with Taylor Hines coming in, she's just kind of surplus. So I think it was a good move for her personally to get out of Arsenal. But you're right. I was surprised that City was the permanent move that she went to. I thought maybe like a Brighton or a West Ham or something, wouldn't have surprised me as much. But the fact that City were stay here long term, that's interesting. And I'll be interested to see how they use her.
Is the fullback position lacking?
Not really. I mean, because I thought Kasparai had a solid season. I know that Layla Wahhabi has 2 years left on her extension, I think. But she is on closer to 35 than she is to 30. So I would get why they would want, younger depth there. I know Riza Shimizu has, is a proven quantity in this league, having played for West Ham. I thought Kristen Kasparai probably was the best performer on City consistently all season. So I don't think that they're lacking fullback depth, but I mean, it's helpful.
Yeah. And like Treb said, she was injured for quite a while recently, so I feel like we haven't been able to see her full potential in at least the last couple years. Yeah. So hopefully it's a good move.
We'll see. Treb, let's circle back to the red side. I think you were telling us something.
So United signed Julia Ohm from Bayern, but the big move, as I leaked earlier, the big move is Rolfo from Barcelona. They got her on a free, so she was a free agent. They signed her on that. That is going to help their team dramatically. I think that puts I don't know. See, again, like this is another strange situation where, like, I didn't expect United to be where they are now last season, right? Like, I given everything that's happened to them on the outside of the pitch, like off the pitch, just with their ownership and the way that the women's side has been treated and kind of the way that they've been put on the back burner to the men's side, I just didn't expect any kind of season from them. So the fact that they went and got third place was massive. I think Rofo really helps kind of establish them as a top 4 team right now, especially again when you have a player like Fallon Joyce, staying on, and you've essentially kept a lot of the roster, though again, there are rumblings and whispers that possibly Grace Clinton might be headed out soon. So we'll see what happens with her. But if she stays for the season, like I think United have done enough, especially with that Rolfo signing. Like I think they've done enough to keep themselves in contention for the top 3. I think that's a huge move. It's probably one of the top 3 to 5 moves of the summer in the whole league.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like it's a big move for them. Like it to me, it's one of those moves that really sets the tone, right? Like they haven't made a whole lot of moves. They haven't brought a lot of players in. I think there's still a lot of women around WOSO that look at United and say, like, why would I really want to go there when the investment is lacking, the support is lacking, the resources are probably lacking. I think in modern day women's soccer, like those are 3 really important. Like it's not like the men's side where you can live off name alone, right? Like, oh, okay, United are struggling, but they're United. Let me still go there. Like on the women's side, like a lot of women players right now, they're like, are you providing resources? Are you providing, good training facilities? Are you a club that I can feel safe in, that I can feel like my career will thrive in? And I still don't think United are looked at as that, but I think with this signing, it's a statement that says, look, we can be trusted. We're still a top club, and it'll be interesting to see how it plays out for the season, because if they can pull off another top 3 finish, or at least have themselves in a position to fight for that top 3 finish, I think next summer is the summer you really see them go crazy for sure. Like, especially if they have even 10% more of the support from ownership, like they're still a big club. And if they can prove that, like with Rolfo coming in, that they can, still be one of the top 4 clubs in this league, like that puts them in a great position for next summer.
I mean, more than league, I think Rolfo and even Olme, they're both Swedish players, but they both have Champions League experience. And with United starting Champions League for the first time, and starting next week, they're going to want that like veteran presence, especially in Rolfo, to kind of help them through and navigate through Champions League. So we'll see. They're in like kind of the knockout stages. I don't exactly remember how it is. I know there's little groups, and they're in a group of 4, and I think they have to win 2 matches to make it to the league stage.
Yes,
if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, either way, they're not like in the league Champions League yet, but if they can make it there, then I think that'll definitely help having that presence on the field. All right.
I think from my perspective, like looking at United, I'm surprised that they would bolster their fullbacks when I thought that they probably had the best pair of outside backs in the league. And I like in Jade Riviere and Gabby George, but I also know that both of those players have injury history, so maybe that's more of an insurance policy bringing Rolfo in, but it's
and taking the pressure off PTJ, because I feel like she like really was responsible for like 5 to 6 wins last season. So it's like maybe don't put her in a position where she has to save 10 goals a match. Even though she can, just don't do that.
Valid. I'm gonna skip like Villa and Leicester just because they're not huge names or like massive signings, and I think the ones that we had talked about with them earlier were their big ones. Like you said, those teams kind of towards the bottom of the table haven't really made any like massive moves, so we'll see how they kind of perform, if they're gonna still be in like a relegation fight, which is likely, or if they can somehow make something with what they've gotten and go more mid-table. Let's talk about PFA Awards. Anyone want to?
Was it a surprise to anyone that Caldente won the award? Was anyone shocked by that?
Nope.
Okay.
No.
How you feel about the PFAs, Mark? He's like, no Chelsea players. I don't give a fuck. It's like,
wait, you mean you just mean with the awards? Yeah, I mean, but I think those are fair though. You know, no notes. What I did find was interesting with the first 11, despite the fact that Chelsea, won the league and we know the whole thing. They only had 2 players represent. But I do think that that is a fair reflection of the Chelsea team as a whole, where like you didn't have necessarily like that many outstanding players. You just had like a lot of very good, very consistent performers. Like even like Millie Bright, I think she is getting lauded because I think she was a Player of the Year finalist as well. And I think it's that thing where like when the team or particularly a defense is really good, then the team's best center back kind of gets the credit for that. I think that's kind of what's happening with Millie Bright. But not to say that she didn't have a good season. She did, obviously. But I just think in general, like Chelsea were just like a well-oiled machine last year without maybe those like outstanding players, like a Sam Kerr, right? Like, I think you had players who had their moments, but nobody like was really that person for the entire season, I think. So.
Is there anyone on the best 11 that's not there that you would have liked to see?
I think personally, if Bunny Shaw hadn't gotten hurt, she takes the place of Russo. But I feel like that's the only one, right?
Yeah.
Because didn't they tie on goals?
Yes.
Yeah. Bunny played like 80% less matches.
She's just ridiculous, man. Like, I really hope we get a full season. But I hope we get a full season of Bunny again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so.
Who are you telling?
Yeah.
I did have someone ask me like if Mary Fowler deserved to be on the list, and I was like, "Did you see her play?
Did you watch?
Did you see her play from December to April?
I assume she was amazing.
Yeah, like
she
until she got like it was amazing.
Yeah, she got like hurt late in the season, though, right? Like she had done enough.
Yeah.
To put herself on that team. I'm kind of surprised Kim Little's there. I mean, like
I'm surprised Kim is on there a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, like Kim Little did okay. Like again, like this is an Arsenal fan speaking. Like Kim Little did okay, and she had several like big moments where she stepped up the way that a veteran captain should. But like just in terms of like team of the season.
So you notice that everybody on the team of the season. Okay, well, first of all, I should probably read off the team of the season.
I guess we should do that.
Aaron Cuthbert, Millie Bright, Kim Little, Mariana Caldente, Alessia Russo, Emily Fox, Valentellis Joyce, Maya Letitia, Jade Riviere, Yui Hasegawa, Mary Fowler. If you notice the list, all of those teams come from the top 4 teams, and all those players come from the top 4 teams in the table, right? As they finish, right? If you also look at all 4 of those teams, none of their like 10s really just like who they thought would be the playmaker really distinguished themselves in that season. Like, so other than Caldente, so like obviously it would make sense to not necessarily pick another like pick a 10 and then to just pick another defensive midfielder. And I think to me, Kim Little was probably the second most consistent center defensive midfielder behind Yui Hasegawa in the league.
She was definitely consistent, but just in terms of like, I don't know, like I guess when you think of team of the season, you think of like spectacular play. But like I said, Kim did a great job in showing up when we needed her from an Arsenal perspective, like doing the veteran captain thing, especially in that Champions League final.
Yeah.
I think that performance in particular really put her over the edge over players that might have gotten in instead of her. Because I do think that match in particular, she really stood out. And it's like, if you are going to stand out in a match, why not make it the Champions League final? But yeah, just like, again, like on the season as a whole, like that is the only one of the list where I look at and say, like, maybe show me who else was in the mix for that. And I might have arguments for them over Little. But again, like I'm not so mad at it that I'm just like, she shouldn't be there at all, right? Like it's just like, that is the name. If you force me to choose, I feel like that's the name where I'm just like, I'm kind of surprised she's there.
Yeah. And I think, Tom, kind of how you're saying about like the player positions, it seems to me that this best 11 is chosen also like more particularly about positions than say like NWSL best 11, where it's just kind of throwing whatever, like forwards and midfielders all together. You can have like 6 forwards in like the list. Whereas this is a more kind of cohesive team. And so she, yeah, maybe wasn't like spectacular, but she was consistent all season. She was like that. She was the captain. You could tell she was the captain. She had like great captain performances. So I think like that is also why they may have chosen her. Remind me, who votes for these ones?
PFAs.
Yeah. Is it other footballers?
Is this the one with the writers?
What does it say? It says the Professional Footballers Association is the union for all current and former footballers and scholars in the Premier League, the Women's Super League, and the other English football leagues.
So it's players voting on players first. Okay. Players don't like really for real watch other matches.
Yeah.
Like so it's really like, okay, well, I know that she balled against me.
Right.
So
yeah, it's a lot of that. It's like a lot of like, she balled against me, or like I struggled against them, or like, yeah, I know they're pretty good. But like, yeah, they don't really, like, let's be honest, players don't really know the other teams like that, right? Like I don't want to say they don't know the game, because they obviously know the game, they play it, but like in terms of other teams outside of where they're at, outside of their little bubble, like they don't really be knowing. Because they're not sitting up there watching the 5 other teams play the same day that they play. Like they're going out there, they're playing, and then they're, going home to relax, decompress, recover, rest. Like they're not, very few players are really sitting there at home watching the rest of these games,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a coaching staff's job.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, let's just call it what it is. Like, they're not
not trying to work on my off day.
Like, I mean, why
exactly? Like, because like, okay, so we might consider like, oh, I'm gonna watch this match and I'm gonna just chill, kind of like clean some stuff up, do some stuff. That, like, to them, that's their job. So like, basically, you're like telling them to do more work essentially, and it's like, no,
no, they're sitting in like
recovering.
They're trying to like recover in like their ice bath, like cocoon things. Like they're trying to do anything but soccer at that point. After they play, you know what I mean? Like they're just like, all right, we'll worry about film on the next fucking training session. We're not doing that now.
Yeah. All right. Anything more about PFA?
Oh, and Olivia Smith won Young Player of
the yes.
Which
expected.
Duh.
I don't have a problem with that.
Cool. Okay, let us get to some other news. Injury news. Unfortunately, Lauren James is going to be out indefinitely for the start of the season. And this was just recently revealed. I guess it was a nagging injury from
hours before recording, folks. We are breaking news.
Breaking news. I guess it's an injury that was kind of nagging her towards the end of last season and through the Euros, and it's just one that I guess she'll have to sit out in order for it to heal fully. I don't think we have a timeline necessarily. It's just indefinite.
Yeah, the club did mention a timeline in their press release. Yeah, it's just it's unfortunate. It's annoying too, because this started with one of the last international breaks in this. I think the last international break of the season, which is where Lauren James initially got hurt. Now it's right before Chelsea played Barcelona, and so it's just like I get why she did it in terms of pushing herself to play at the Euros. We heard the stories of Lucy Bronze playing on a broken tibia and all. All, just the legend shit. But yeah, I mean, like obviously these players want to play for country, especially for England and going back to back in the Euros. Like I get it. It's so annoying. I really because Lauren James just means so much to Chelsea and how they play. And like I felt like last season, I thought at first like her season was kind of start stop, but then I thought she was in a good run of form until she got hurt. So it's at this point, like I hope they don't rush her back. Like I think Chelsea have the squad to deal with Lauren James's absence. Just let her heal fully and properly so that she can give her best at the end of the season.
Cool. Unfortunate, but we wish her the best and a speedy recovery. And then City has one player out, one player coming back.
Yeah. I feel so bad. Rebecca Canuck tore her meniscus. Like when she first got to City from her transfer, like she was playing very, very well to the point that Germany called her in. And then she hurt her knee. And then she played. I thought she played very well in the Euros. Like she was not the German defender that lost her mind. I'll put it that way. Like, so I thought she played very well, but she unfortunately did do her meniscus in training. No timetable put on that. That's pretty much like a knee ligament sort of thing. So recovery usually is at least 6 months. So maybe February, unknown. Speaking of knee ligaments, one Mary Fowler is doing individual training with Man City. She is not quite to on the ball work, but she is getting her way there. Joe Montemurro, the newly hired Matilda's coach, said that he expects her or hopes to have her play in the November international window. The Matildas will obviously need to get in a run of form since they'll be wanting to, win the Asia Cup, which will be in March. So having her back would be helpful to their cause, but it would also be very helpful to City's cause as well. So, because let me tell you, if you all have a front line of Bunny Shaw, Caroline Nichollsodeon, and Mary Fowler running at you, boy, howdy, good luck.
Do you
like Charlie?
From the City perspective, like obviously you're not a doctor, but just like how soon would you imagine she would be back? Does it concern you how fat? Because like she's only 4 months after this injury and she's already back to I'm close to returning.
I think like the timetable would still be on the 6-month timetable if she comes back in November for country. I could. It's funny because she plays with Caroline, and Caroline did this where she did not play for club, but she was because she was injured, but she definitely played for country. And I could definitely see her like playing for country, like starting in the November window, but not actually playing for club until after the Asian Cup was over.
I was going to say, yeah. So like kind of winter window-ish for City.
No, like even later than that, like because Asia Cup is in March, so like if they go to the finals, that's in the middle of April. Yeah, I know.
Okay, I mean, I guess like I always get concerned when I see players, especially young players, try to bounce back from an injury like that fast. Like that always, because especially when you're talking about knee injuries like ACLs, MCLs, like those things surprisingly linger, right? Like you can feel great. you can feel good. And the absolute worst thing you want to do is re-injure that ligament trying to come back too soon. And so like I just hope, because again, Mary Fowler is like a great young player. Like I just hope she takes her time, right? And like that's not even like a rival team fan speaking.
No, I get it. Like
no, like that's
you
like,
appreciate her game
exactly. Like as someone who appreciates the talent, like I would be worried for a player coming back from an ACL injury 4 or 5 months after the injury. Like that is just, I think like it's great. Like you can bounce back that fast, but I would be like, I don't want you on the pitch just yet. Like let's.
I think what's
pump the brakes on that.
I think what's encouraging is that she, like, while she obviously is athletic, but she's not like an explosion athlete.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. Sense like her game is a lot smoother than that. So maybe not the healing part necessarily, but like when she comes back, it's not like, because her game wasn't reliant on explosion, she's not going to be real hesitant about like, oh, can I,
she's not like a Bunny Shaw where it's like he's going to be going after players, kind of like exploding off that knee to accelerate really quick. Like she's definitely more of a finesse. Like let me, in basketball terminology, like let me hang around that 3-point line, get that corner shot, right? Like yeah. So I get it. That's good. I mean, I'm happy to see her healthy though. Like I love watching her play. Like she's a phenomenal young player. So hopefully that injury's on track. Like, like I said, I would hate to see it get re-injured in like January with her trying to come back fast.
Yeah. I feel like City in general has brought back players quickly, just at least in recent past. It seems like, just whatever they're doing is working. And it's I forget who I think it was Ellie Carpenter. She, not with City obviously, but like when she came back with Lyon, she also had such a short timeline compared to other players after an ACL. So it also just really depends on the player themselves. And some can take like 4 or 5 months, some can take over a year, and like close to 2, as we've seen.
And that's really interesting that you say that, because like the through line between those two players obviously is the Matildas. So like maybe something that their medical staff is doing is helpful as well. So
yeah, good point. Were you about to say something else as I cut you off?
Oh no. Yeah, but I forgot it, so it's not important.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Okay. I just want to mention a couple more things. One, obviously, we mentioned the Women's Champions League. Those, what are they called? Knockout round? Not knockout rounds.
Technically, the qualification.
Qualifying, technically? Okay. Qualification rounds are happening. The next set will be next week on August the 27th. And the one WSL team is Manchester United, who's taking part. They will be hosting PSV, but all the matches in their group are played at the Hammarby location in Stockholm. So they're technically the home team, but they will be in Hammarby. And for some reason, that match is at 11 a.m. local time, I think, which is wild.
That is so, like, wait, are they also 6 hour, or are they also on the same time zone that you're in currently, Deepti?
I think so. Let me check. They might be 1 hour ahead. But either way, it's 11 a.m. UK time.
It is a 3 a.m. start time here on the West Coast. Holy.
Okay, they are 1 hour ahead of us. So 12 p.m. local time in Sweden, 11 a.m. UK time. You're muted, Tom.
That's crazy, because you're having a weekday.
Yeah, it's on a Wednesday.
Champions League qualifier on a Wednesday. Like what? Like during the day? All of that sounds wrong.
I just love how, like this is just so intriguing, because as Deepti mentioned, this is the only WSL team in these rounds, right? Like usually you would get the 2 and 3 spot, but Chelsea won the WSL, so they get an automatic bid. And then Arsenal won the Champions League, so they literally are the 1 seed. So they've completely put themselves in the absolute best position, despite the fact that they finished second in their domestic league. So that's it'll be interesting to see how United do, because PSV is not an easy out. they seem to be just one of those teams that like you're on mute, Mark. They seem to be one of those teams that just like are pesky, you know.
And if they get past PSV, they have to play Hacken.
Oh my God, yeah, we know about hacking, how they can be at home. No motherfuckers.
I don't know. Like, I mean, look, if Man U get through that, then kudos to them for real. But I do
again,
not.
I think that's why signing like Rofo is so important. And Ohm, like Deepti mentioned, like those are two players that have experience in the Champions League, and I think that goes a long way. Even if they might not, start or play a lot, like just having that experience on roster to be like, listen, this is what's expected, this is what you can expect. Like that goes a long way, especially for a player like I think like Fallon Joyce, right? Like she's going to be experiencing this tournament for the first time and coming, as an American player that cut her chops at the NWSL. Like that's going to be an interesting experience to have to go through that, and then have to go through these kind of like playoff qualifications is going to be really interesting. Like, yeah, like I mean, we're going to see what United are made of because it's not easy, right? Like Arsenal 2 years ago got eliminated by Paris, and it's just the way that tournament goes. And we lost to Hacken this past season. I think they beat us in that first leg, and so it's a grind when you have to come from those like playoffs and play-ins and stuff. Like it is a grind to go from that just to get into the league. And then I think this is going to be the first year where the women's side matches the way that the men's Champions League was last year. So you're not going to have groups necessarily. Like you're just going to have to
play everybody.
Yeah. So buckle in, United fans. It's going to be a journey. Hopefully a long one for y'all. Like I would love to see all the WSL teams into that league.
I would not. I would not.
Like I said, we won the Champions League last year. We're sitting in that 1 seed. We're chilling. Arsenal, man, they put themselves in the best position for sure, because they're just like chilling. So,
quick clarification: they will be playing the winner of Hammarby and medalist Kharkiv. If they beat PSV.
So that means that they have to play. If Hammarby wins, they have to play Hammarby at home, at Hammarby's house.
Correct.
Good luck.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they or how they chose who would host and like be the home team, but I wonder if it's just a draw because all of them are like just kind of random. It seems
like holy shit, they got to be out of. They got to be in the middle of Europe just to get to these.
Yeah.
Good luck. Like Thom said, good luck. I'm just so glad. Listen, man. I'm just really glad Arsenal will have to go through this because, like, the last several years of having to deal with this shit.
Oh, it's been stress.
Like
it's been horrible.
Now I'm just like, hey, whatever, coefficient or not, like, let's go.
That Paris FC was the worst.
You're telling me, yeah, that sucked having to get eliminated by them and be like,
yeah,
I guess no Champions League this year. Like I guess that's how that, because like they could lose to PSV in that first match and journey over.
I really hope that by expanding the league to 14 teams, that it will push up the coefficient so that at least like the top 2 automatically qualify. Like you all should like I think it's France and Spain because of Lyon. Like they have like 4 or 5. I think like Primera Liga has 5. And like you want to talk about a farmers league, that is a 2-team league with like one that like interlopes to like fuck up their seasons every once in a while. Like that is not a like 5 teams need to go to the Champions League.
It's unfair. Let's just call it what it is. It's unfair, but like, yeah, I'm with you, Thom. Like, I hope that these changes to the WSL, where they're talking about expanding the league for the next couple of years, I hope that a big motivation for that is that they've been told, like, look, if you can do that, we will give you, 4 automatic spots, or like 3 automatic spots with a 4th to play in to play in these playoffs, because like top 3 is hard enough, and then when you consider only the winner of the WSL gets the automatic bid, like that's torture. And again, like you would think UEFA wouldn't want it that way because you're talking about putting teams like Arsenal, like City, like United. These are big money-making teams. You're talking about putting them through playoffs and like qualifiers. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. I think that's all. There was we can talk about this next time when like the season actually starts, but Arsenal is starting a new thing about player fan interaction. But once we get more info,
so
we
nobody
can
gets
talk about
run up and done up on.
that. Yeah, basically they're limiting it. But you know, Chelsea did the same thing at like Kings Meadow, which I didn't actually realize until very recently. So they're like, unfortunately, I feel like due to certain fan behavior and also just the fact that it takes a long time and like I guess
Well, they're
players also don't
introducing
want to spend.
alcohol now too, right? Like that might also.
Oh, that too. That might be a
introducing
factor.
alcohol to other. They're just like, listen, there are too many fucking factors now. We need to make sure that we like.
Yeah, that we control it better.
Yeah, that's good. That's gonna be a game changer because there's gonna be some.
As American football fans, we know
well,
there's alcohol to these matches. Good and bad.
Well.
All right. Any last thoughts?
I'm excited for this season to start. Like, really,
Same. I'm excited to hear everyone's like takes on what the season's gonna look like.
I'm excited. I think the top teams have added to their squads. I think the top teams are in a position to really fight for those top 3 spots. I think, like we talked about with Brighton strengthening, like I'm just excited with what this league could look like this season. So I'm ready. September can't come fast enough. Like we've already started the men's side. That's whet the appetite a little bit. Like I'm ready. I'm ready to get full force into English football.
Yeah, agree.
Right.
I'm kind of excited for the end of the window just to see if there's any like deadline day madness.
Already, brother? Oh no, I guess you're talking about August, huh? My bad. I'm tripping.
Yeah, there's still time in the window left. Like we could, something could happen.
Yeah, I want to say like Chelsea out of all the big teams, I think Chelsea, y'all have been the quietest, right? But y'all are also the ones who come into the season stacked already. Like you're getting Sam Kerr back.
That's so yeah. Getting Sam Kerr back
exciting.
is big. And I just checked, and Khadija Buchanan was on the preseason squad that traveled, so it looks like she's close to being back. Yeah, I mean, like, because I think like too, like with Gurma and Walsh coming in January, maybe that's why.
Spend $1 million on Gurma too. What else do you need, Mark? What else do you need?
I could use another forward. I could,
another
or winger type. You know what I mean?
Y'all just got JRK. Y'all just extended it.
Yeah.
You're right.
Which is why I need another winger. Like,
well, there's one winger off the board that we saw is going to Orlando. So,
oh man, and the record keeps getting broken.
Oh, I feel like the next few like big signings, they're just gonna keep one-upping because the players are not gonna take anything less, seeing how it is now.
And that quarterback contract in the NFL, huh? Where it's just like,
yes, that is exactly what it's going to be.
Like a few $100,000 more until we reach a bubble.
Yeah.
Yes, that is exactly what's going to happen. So I will say I know that we cover a league that is in Europe. We also, most of us live in North America. So we have seen because have you all seen like some of the reaction online to the amount of money that Orlando spent on
No, I haven't. How's it been?
No.
Oh.
European.
I'm not surprised, but I am. Like, what?
I like we all know what you mean by that.
Again, we are American based, so like we know what that means. Yes. But again, I think that's also why they specified why Olivia Smith was the first £1 million player.
I mean, this was oh no, I guess it wouldn't have been £1 million because it wasn't quite. No, it was like 1.5 million.
It was like right around there, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. you got to do that math.
I was like,
I mean, it changes depending on the day. Like the exchange rate is just.
I think, to me, like just to kind of talk about player, like I think, obviously, the next big domino is Trinity Rodman. Like, whatever that looks like, I think
you're giving away my hot take, because we're all going to give hot takes in our next episode when we predict the season. So you're giving away my hot take.
Do not come up with no city it's going to get. Don't even start that shit. Don't even start that shit.
Wow.
I'm shutting that down now.
Okay.
Okay, well, I'm excited for the hot takes. All right. On that note, let's wrap this up so we can start thinking about our hot takes for next episode. What's even our outro anymore? All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. You can find us on preseason. We're full preseason mode. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you listen to your podcast. Hit that follow button to stay up to date when new episodes drop. Leave a rating and a review if you can. We'd love to hear your feedback. There are 12 teams, 6 matches when they start, 4 hosts. You are listening to the 12. Think of your hot takes, guys.
My hot takes will be fine.
We'll see you next time.